So what's good guys, Adnan here, back at it with a guest video for TrueTech. So have you ever wondered what smartphones were like all those years ago? To be precise, exactly 6 years ago in 2010, the smartphone industry started blooming up. So how would it be like to use a phone that is 6 years old? Well, I did some research and got my hands on the best phone from 6 years ago that was also able to exist in today's world, of course. This is my retro review of the iPhone 4. The moment you pick it up, the iPhone 4 seems astonishingly small, like really small. The iPhone 4 rocks a 3.5 inch 640 by 960 IPS LCD display. Yes, an actual 3.5 inches display. To put it in comparison, this is a phone from 2 years ago and it has got a 5.5 inch display, and that is probably the ideal smartphone size we have gotten used to nowadays, right? So, using this device for more than a typical review period was really difficult for me. However, I was taken aback when I realized I don't even need my other hand to do basic operations. My thumb can easily reach all four corners of the display no problem, and that is really amazing. For other activities like surfing the web, watching YouTube, chatting with people, and basically anything else, I really wish that it had some extra screen real estate. Although the resolution is a pity 640 by 960 pixels, it is actually not that bad. Obviously, for a screen this small, it still has a pretty good 330 pixels per inch. Also, watching content in 720p might seem like a punishment for some, but you really don't notice it. The second thing you notice while you hold the iPhone 4 is its amazing build. For a phone 6 years old, the iPhone 4 is fabulously built. Even the newer Android devices coming out might not have this good of a build. The phone is coated with glass on the front as well as its back and has a metal ring covering all four sides of it. The meticulous precision and attention to detail really makes you doubt this phone's existence dating 6 years ago. Since this is an iPhone, it has the volume rockers and the mute switch on the left hand side, the power button on the top right side, and the speaker grills down below. Something that you might have forgotten about is the monstrous 30-pin connector, which makes this iPhone a rare breed now. On the right hand side, you have the SIM tray, and that's about it. You still have the oh so popular iPhone square button and the earpiece on the front of the phone. Surprisingly enough, the iPhone 4 also has an amazing front-facing camera for a phone 6 years old, that is. On the back, you have your primary 5 megapixel camera with the LED flash. Down to that, there's some FCC markings and the clean Apple logo. Now, let's talk about some software, shall we? When the iPhone 4 was initially released, it was running iOS 4, and back then, it was the fastest phone of all time. That is until now. For some weird reason, Apple kept updating the age-old iPhone 4 up to iOS 7 and left it in a miserable state. I say miserable state because you sometimes just wish you were running iOS 6 rather than a newer version. Due to the continuous updates and the glossy remake of iOS in iOS 7, the fairly low-powered Apple A4 chip was not able to push out all the processing, and it is really slow and laggy now. Not saying that it isn't useful, but it still is bad. To add the cherry on top of the cake, almost all the useful applications now do not support iOS 7 and don't even have an older version that can be installed. For me, I couldn't even get the YouTube application installed, which is a big bummer. While the stock applications like weather, clock, and others might be fairly responsive, it is the third-party applications that really show the difference. When I launched Facebook, it took a mind-boggling 14 seconds to just get past the white screen of death and took additional time to load the posts. However, iOS does have some tricks up its sleeve. The control center really does help a ton of times when toggling between Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, mobile data, and a lot of other great shortcuts like torch, compass, calculator, and camera. Talking about the cameras, the iPhone 4 is surprisingly a good camera as well. It shoots images from the primary camera at 5 megapixels at a constant aperture of f2.8. Videos can be shot at 720p at 30 fps and they are hard to complain about. The secondary camera is a VGA one, which means bad quality, right? Wrong. It can shoot really decent images when you have the correct amount of light, but you will start to notice some grain in darker areas. The front-facing camera can shoot video at 480p at 30 fps as well. So on the camera side, good job Apple. The PowerVR SGX535 whatever is a pretty good GPU you've never heard of, and surprisingly, the iPhone can hold retro titles like Temple Run fairly well without a lot of lag. The 512 megabits of RAM is really insufficient, and applications run out of memory before you even switch to another one. Alright, there you have a quick retro review of the iPhone 4. Do you guys have a retro phone that you still have preserved? Do let us know in the comment section down below. Before I leave, I would like to thank TrueTech for a splendid opportunity to have a guest video done here. And I'm going to be a bit greedy and ask you guys to head over to my channel and check out my other videos if you enjoyed this one as well. Apart from that, this is Adnan, and I'll catch you guys later.